About 2,000 years ago, the world's greatest library burned. Today, historians debate why exactly it happened and how much knowledge was lost. But there's no debating that when the Library of Alexandria went up in flames, so did centuries' worth of progress. But what if it hadn't? What if all the world's knowledge had survived intact, and the march of progress was set back by centuries? Well, today we're going to find out. We often think of libraries as quiet places filled with dusty books and the occasional talking cat. But the Library of Alexandria was anything but ordinary. Founded in Egypt around 300 BCE, its stated goal was to collect every book in the world. At a time when most people couldn't read, let alone question the divine right of kings, it was radical. Its founder, Ptolemy I, commissioned ships to scour the known world for texts. When they returned, scribes would painstakingly copy them onto papyrus, preserving and spreading knowledge across cultures. The collection grew quickly. By some estimates, it amassed 400,000 scrolls and perhaps many more. Today, when we want to learn something, we can just Google it. But back then, finding knowledge required a pilgrimage to Alexandria. There, scholars from every corner of the known world could rub shoulders with each other, sharing their discoveries and debating their theories. It was like the internet, except with fewer pop-ups and more togas. Now, imagining an alternate timeline where the library never burned is a thought experiment in counterfactuals. When we change one event in the past, everything else changes too. But to keep things simple, let's just assume that the library did burn, and the only thing that changed is that it didn't burn down. Instead, it continued to grow and thrive for centuries. So let's fast forward to our present day and see how this alternate world compares to ours. First off, science. In the real world, the ancient Greeks proposed that the sun, not the earth, was the center of the universe. But their ideas were lost to time until Copernicus rediscovered them 1,800 years later. In our timeline, though, with the Library of Alexandria continuing to thrive, Greek scientific ideas never went out of style. Instead, they formed the basis for centuries of innovation. Imagine Newton building on Greek geometry to develop calculus, or Darwin using Greek natural philosophy to develop his theory of evolution. Without the library, it's impossible to say where science would have ended up. Perhaps we wouldn't have invented the wheel or penicillin. But with the library, science would have leapt ahead for centuries. But it wasn't just scientists who would have benefited. The same goes for doctors. In the real world, modern medicine began in the 19th century. But medical knowledge actually goes back thousands of years. The Egyptians, for example, performed surgery and set broken bones and even used antiseptics. If their techniques had been preserved and built upon, we might have had vaccines and antibiotics long before the 19th century. Imagine if we could prevent smallpox, polio, and gangrene with recipes from the pharaohs. Thanks to the library, cures for modern diseases might have been discovered centuries ago. Finally, let's talk about the library itself. In the real world, it was lost to a fire, but in our timeline, it stands strong for centuries. It continues to grow and thrive, becoming the world's leading center for education and research. Imagine if every great thinker of the past had a chance to teach and learn at the library. Aristotle discussing quantum mechanics with Albert Einstein, Marie Curie debating philosophy with Plato. Such a meeting of minds would have accelerated progress even further. So to sum up, the library would have accelerated progress in science, medicine, and education. But here's the irony. None of this is pure fiction. All these advancements did happen. In our timeline, they just happened centuries later. The library held countless texts describing everything from basic algebra to the circumference of the Earth. It was home to works of art, philosophy, and engineering. Its halls were filled with the greatest minds of antiquity, shaping the course of human history. So the real question isn't what would have happened if the library had never burned, but why did it burn, and why did human progress slow down afterwards? The answer, as with so many things in history, is complex. Some say the library declined gradually due to neglect during Roman rule, Christian persecutions, and Muslim conquests. Others blame Julius Caesar, who accidentally set part of the library ablaze while celebrating his victory in a civil war. But however it happened, the library was lost, and with it, humanity lost millennia of accumulated knowledge. For centuries, scholars had to rediscover forgotten inventions like the water wheel or the astrolabe. They had to relearn advanced geometry or trigonometry. Humanity got stuck in neutral, and it wasn't our fault. We simply lost the instruction manual. So the big takeaway? The next Library of Alexandria won't be made of scrolls or stone. It will be made of data. We're talking about open-source knowledge, free education, and global collaboration. But like the Library of Alexandria, it's fragile. Disinformation, censorship, and digital decay threaten to erase it. So to preserve this new library, we need to be proactive. We must guard against ignorance, intolerance, and online fires. Because just like the Library of Alexandria, progress isn't always linear. Sometimes it requires a complete paradigm shift, like switching from scrolls to stone tablets, paper, or the internet. And that's why we must safeguard our collective knowledge. If we do, future generations can build on our discoveries, solve problems we never could, and push humanity forward. Just imagine what the world might look like 2,000 years from now if we do.